finish line. Get to moving finish line. Cross that finish line. I'm a monster, I'm rude and black. Give me diamond watch, give me platinum plaque. I'm a goon or something, I make do with that. Ain't here to small talk, don't need the chat. Know that I was made in the lab. The scientist screaming, oh my god. Give him swagger, a Tone Beach vibe. Let him hit the streets, let them die. What I mean to be great when you at halftime. When you're 20 years old, never had a touchdown. When you lose a control, all your brother's been gone. You're confused, you're alone, never earned you a dime.
I got the goal, I think I'm gonna win. Racing the morning down.
And podcast, because I am Furman along with my teammate Larissa. What's going on with you? We are back here. I think it's been a week since we done the show. I was out of town, of course. It's my family back in Mobile, Alabama. So big shout out to my hometown of Mobile, Alabama. Got a chance to see my mom, my dad, brothers, other family members, other friends. But it's also a pleasure and excited to be back with you one time, Larissa, as we do the Just Saying podcast. And we're very excited. Larissa, because we got some very special guests with us. They have the upcoming, they have an up and rising podcast, The Line Experience here in the DFW. It's a very popular platform. I have viewed it on a couple of occasions. They have very, very insightful, impactful conversations, Larissa. I love the flow. I love the energy. There's no egos. It's all about me. They all flow together. And we love to see that because the Bible does say how beautiful it is when people dwell together in unity. And we just love to see that. So I thank you. For listeners, thank y'all for tuning in with us. So, Larissa, you want to kick it off, and we want to introduce our guest. So,
well, yes, hi. Well, actually, you know what? I think the best thing to do is for our guests to introduce themselves because nobody can introduce yourself besides you better than anybody else. But you know what I'm saying? So let's kick it off a Floor. Let's go, Floor.
Hey, what's up, mi gente? ¿Cómo están? Ya tú sabes, it's Flor from Florida. I'm here with my family from the Line Experience podcast in the room. Thank you for having us. And what can I say about myself? I'm a mom. I am a Jesus girl. You know, I'm into full-time ministry right now after working in the domestic violence and human trafficking field for about 14 years. I've taken a step back to kind of focus more on doing God's work or further enhancing God's work because I was already doing God's work. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on your podcast as a guest. I'm excited for all the gems that they dropped in this room tonight because I know everyone here is going to bring some real value to the table. So again, thank you for having me.
Thank
awesome
you.
Stuff.
All right. Let's go.
And also, Larissa.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And also, Larissa, we got someone that's next to you on the right-hand side. Go ahead and introduce themselves. The one is right next to you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm Rita. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Line Experience podcast. I do hair. I do makeup. I have a company called Celebrate Things. So I do balloons, event decor. I do a lot of things. I'm a mom, a wife, a confidant. So, I'm grateful to be here on this platform with you guys and just to get to show you a little bit of us on the other side, you know.
Good.
Yeah, awesome
Thank
stuff.
you. Thank you. All right, anybody else want to tune in? Let's go ahead. Kamisha, I keep on saying your name because you have the name of my my sister. My sister name is Kamisha. Oh, hi, Jay.
Nice.
Oh yeah, my sister name is Kamisha. So
okay, I am Kamisha. I'm the behind the scene at the Line Experience podcast. I go by Kamisha the model. So I do a lot here in Dallas-Fort Worth. I'm an actress. I model. I have the Line Experience podcast where I have the lovely time of being with these great people every second and fourth Friday. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you guys for inviting us, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. Looks like we lost a couple of people along the way. I think it's a connection problem, but they will tune in just a second. So it's all good. It's all good.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
I can hear you.
We can hear you now, and we can see you this time.
I'm out here still working. You know how the grind don't stop. But yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah, no, make your money.
one of the
Make
co-hosts.
your
Here.
money.
I'm Cordero, so shout out to everybody. Thank y'all for having us, and yeah, I'm ready to have some fun and see what this discussion is all about.
Okay,
Man,
okay.
awesome
Thank you
stuff.
for joining us. All right,
Yeah.
and we have
Hey y'all, I am Millie. I'm one of the hosts of the Line Experience podcast. I'm not just a host, I'm a photographer, I am an educator, and I guess I'm kind of like a little business coach. I help businesses brand their businesses with photography and videography. And I'm happy to be here. So thank you both for allowing not only just me, but my people, my crew. Thank you
Yeah.
for having us.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you guys all for joining the show. We really appreciate it. Our show is technically new in its being, so to speak. So we are learning as we go. We do like to have topics that discuss meaningful things, like Furman kind of touched on as far as your podcast is concerned, but we kind of do the same thing as well. I do want to shout out to Zay. She changed her name a little bit, but this young lady she's been there since the beginning. She has tuned in from the beginning, and thank you once again. Now it's ZLYC. So, and she made a comment. The melanin is glowing. So thank you. So thank you for tuning in again. So, but anywho, let's get it started. Let's get it started. All right, Furman.
All right, awesome stuff. So, hey, we are here with the Cash from the Line Experience podcast. Like I said, I have viewed a platform on a numerous occasions. I love the professionalism, I love the flow, and I love how y'all talk about real life issues. You know, y'all talk about the issue that's going on every day, and you bring it to the forefront. And I know that there's no holds barred, there's no holding back. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So, how did this platform come together? How did this team come together? So who wants to start it off?
I'll take it. When you say the team came together by God. I started in
Yes.
2019. I was by myself. That was before COVID. And that was a challenge because I started in my home, and then I didn't want to let people in my home. But the purpose, let me start with the purpose of our podcast is to advertise products and services for business owners, and to be a bridge from a problem to a solution, being that bridge, giving resources. If you just moved from Mobile, Alabama, you need an apartment, we have realtors, we have apartment, we have the people. We're going to connect you with the people. That's why we bring on experts
Mm,
to talk about our topics or whatnot. And so, as far as all of us, it just happened like this. I had a couple of hosts that was with me, and they went their separate ways. And when that happened, I was like, "Hey, yo, Rita," and she was like, "Oh, I'm down." And she came to the show and kind of helped transition. And then Kamisha was coming to my events. Just we were linking up. She was like, "Hey, I want to serve. I want to be a part." And so I said, "Okay, cool. Let's see what you can do." So Kamisha has not just been hosting, but she has been our BTS, and that is very vital because that helps with our content and our marketing and keeping people, in the know. And
mhm.
then Cadero came on as a guest, by one of my business partners, and he was on the show, and 2 weeks later he was in the show. So he wanted to be a part. He was like, "Hey, I like the way this was what y'all got going over here. I don't care how much it is. Like, let's go." And he's been
Mhm.
there, dedicated. I believe we knocking on 2 years. And then
Ooh.
Flo. So Flo and Cadero met each other at another friend's event, networking. All this is networking, and this is not forced. That's another thing. It ain't no forcing.
Mm.
And so Flo met Cadero at one of our other business partners events, and then he was like, "Hey, Flo said on the show."
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Camille, we lost you.
Cordero, go ahead and fill in right there at the end of that. Cause
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm driving. Yeah, so basically, That's one of my gifts. I'm just a connector. So when I met Flo at one of my friends' events, and I invited Flo to come, and then we went to another friend of ours' podcast as well. Shout out to my partner
Hello.
Dwayne Carraway, and she was like, "Yeah, I love to be a part of what y'all have." So I connected her with Millie, and we've been rocking and rolling ever since.
I'm on.
Good, good, good. So, okay, so just to get a good synopsis of or paraphrasing of what you guys do, it's basically a connection between or a bridge that is between you guys and the community based
Absolutely.
on helping the community. Correct?
Absolutely.
That's
That's
wonderful. I
correct.
love to hear that. I love to hear that because I believe many of times there's the bridge, especially that comes to our community, is gate kept. So to have that sense of, hey, we can turn um, to these people to help us in situations of need, that's beautiful because you really don't find that, you really
Mhm.
do not get that. You know, they people might give you just a little bit, but they're not going to give you everything, and they're not going to give you, like, they're not even going to give you half of it.
Right.
So you know that within itself is such a blessing, and God sees everything.
No, yeah.
God sees everything. My homeboy Furman, I ain't gonna call him by his middle name. My homeboy Furman, he is the one that constantly remind me of all things God. And because my beliefs are a lot different, but I definitely have learned a lot from him. So, when we talk, our talks always is is always considered of God and of God. So this is a beautiful thing. And so, we're so glad to have you on the show, like we said earlier. The question I do have, how do you guys what was the hardest thing that you guys had to overcome as far as a group? Because it's already hard enough getting two people together or three people together versus, one, two, three, four, five, six people together. So it's already hard enough already doing that, especially when you have a full-time job, when you're a full-time mom, when you're a full-time hairstylist, when you're a full-time photographer. How do you do it? Like, what is your motivation?
So I would like to say that, start off by saying that, of course, nothing is perfect, right? And so,
Right.
everything's going to have its challenges, and, it's good things as well. And so for me, I think one of the things that have been a challenge for us as a group, and again, it's because of, like you said, life is always life for all of us. We're mothers, we're employees, we're entrepreneurs, we're volunteering over here, we're serving over there. And so sometimes, there could be, in the midst of our business, there are times where we have maybe like a breakdown in communication, or we're not, we may not be able to be as consistent as we want to be. And those are the moments where we come together in our meetings, in our weekly, or I think we do it monthly now, in our monthly check-ins, and we say, hey, these are the things that we need to work on. These are the ways that we can improve. And I think all of us know each other enough to know that when we are given those type of feedback, that type of feedback is never negative. It's always constructive, and it's coming from a good place to help each other grow, because we're all trying to go in the same direction. Right. So I think that's been one of the challenges, that we've had. But again, we're a family. We value each other. We know each other's intentions for each one of us. And so we don't take it, we're having those hard conversations. We don't take it as we don't get offended. We don't take it as offense. We take it as, okay, this person is right. They see something I can't see. These are the areas where we need to improve. These are the areas where we need to come together, a little bit more, collaboratively, so that we can continue growing this podcast and getting to where we are initially, been wanting to go, which is higher.
That
And
constructive criticism. I love it.
with
And
love.
yes, with love. I love that. That's the only way you can grow. That's the only way you can grow. Furman, did you want to say something in regards to what she said?
That's good.
Uh, Oh yeah, I mean, I like what Flo was saying. It's iron sharpen iron. I've been saying that as of late, iron sharpen iron, and I do believe that you should always bring the best out of each other, right? And I mentioned you
Mhm.
mentioned something about the criticism and doing it in love and being humble
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to see things when you don't see it, but knowing that the person has the best interest at heart. Because I'd rather be around someone that's going to tell me the truth than sit around
Mm-hmm.
somebody tell me a lie. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't need no
Yeah.
yes men, yes women around us. But put my foot to a fire. This is what my motto is. In any type of relationship, we should motivate, inspire, and hold each other accountable. Because at the
That's
end
right.
of the day, I want to see you win. I want to see you overcome. I want to see you master everything here on earth. Long as you got your heart pumping blood, that means God still got you here, right? He still
Right.
open you up for another day to extraordinary things. Because I don't believe we should be the way He designed us to be. He's made us to be extraordinary. So I love that iron sharpen
Mm-hmm.
iron. And I know y'all have a lot of great conversations. What has
Mm-hmm.
been the most hottest conversation y'all have in our platform the most that people always question and looking for answers for? What has been the most hottest one y'all had so far?
Millie.
Ooh,
I
you
mean,
go over there.
I would say they love to talk about making money,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mhm.
they really, really, really like to talk about relationships and
yeah.
love and marriage.
Mm-hmm.
What I
And
tell you,
then
friend?
a lot of trauma and drama, like with family and friends. That's
Right.
always a gooder. But I'd say the best one would be like relationships, love, sex, that type of talk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, yes. And I believe
Well,
that's a good conversation starter, period,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know anybody on this earth that have not experienced love in any type of capacity, whether or not it's a relationship or
Right.
a parental or family member or friendship. Love
Mm-hmm.
comes in many different forms, and so does hurt. So, talking about those things obviously will peak the that interest in people. I think for a lot of, we live in the Bible, like this is considered a Bible state. So we have a lot of preachers that talk about different things that I have experienced when going to church or something like that, and it seems like the pastor or the preacher is talking directly to you because it's a common thing that people
Mm-hmm.
experience. So,
Right.
from a platform point of view, that is an excellent way to reach your audience, something that is very common
Mm-hmm.
for people when they experience things. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
And
that's a
people are looking for help. They're looking for, insight. They're looking for wisdom. They're looking for, guidance. And so, people want to sit down and, listen to other people that are relatable. They have already gone through the fire. They have already,
Mm-hmm.
paved the way. So they know, how
Mhm.
to get to where they're trying to get to the other side where you're already at. Right. And so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like you said, having those topics that are relatable, that people can relate to, that are really, just they're meeting them right where they're at, right? And so in
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
those situations, so I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
I,
Who is
I,
the person? Oh, go ahead. I'm
I was
sorry.
going to chime in. I was just going to say, when it comes to interpersonal relationships, Flo made a statement earlier. She said, I don't look like what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? And we joke about that. We say that a lot. But the reality is, people want to come to someone who looks like they have their life together but can relate on the fact of I've been through something too. I've been there and it didn't stop me from getting to where I'm going. You know, us all having different backgrounds, but all being similar in the personalities that we have, us being people and us being caring and us being compassionate. We've all been through things, but we still carry ourselves in a way that you wouldn't think, anything has ever transpired. And that's inspirational because a lot of people think that once they go through something, they can't get out on the other side of it.
Mm,
But when you have a table of five people who can say, I've been through something, but look at me, you know what I'm saying? Look at me now, right?
yeah.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. And so that's one of the things I do love about our group because we do come from so drastic of backgrounds, like difference, but
Hmm.
it was aligned and it was purpose that brought us all to the same spot.
It was. And when you speak about alignment and purpose, Rita, I wanted to mention earlier before we got started into our conversation when we were just being introduced that, there really is power in connection and in networking, and we are a reflection of that. Every relationship, you know, every conversation you're having with somebody, every meeting, is an opportunity, that can plant, seeds that grow, into unexpected, opportunities, breakthroughs, and so many other things. And so here we are a reflection of that, so.
Yeah.
And what I
Oh
love
yeah.
about us, oh, sorry. What I
No,
love
no.
about
I
we
couldn't hear you, Kamisha.
bring out the best in one another.
Yes.
It's always uplifting,
Mhm.
positivity,
Mhm.
Mhm.
encouraging one another, and always being there for one another. So that
Mhm.
helps too.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Did you want to add
Because we know
something,
at the end of the day,
Daryl?
yeah, God would have said at the end of the day, there's no negativity at the end of the day. It's all about positivity and love and
Right.
growth, iron sharp iron.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
His mic
Mm-hmm.
is muted.
Yeah,
Oh,
I agree on that too. It just depends on when everybody brings to the table and you work together as a team. It's always I always say you get there faster when you're moving in one accord.
That's
Mhm.
good.
yeah.
Anytime you see people doing, things of dysfunction, out of order, and after a while, them bad habits, I always say they're easy to pick up, they're hard to put down. So that's why a
Yeah.
lot of times you see things don't last because
Yeah.
people got bad habits or they get around each other and get jealous. And like I said on
Mhm.
the last episode, anytime you're around people, if anybody takes off first, if anything, be happy and support them because who don't like being
Right.
celebrated?
Yeah. You're
These,
absolutely
these
correct.
podcasts are very powerful. I've got on several different other podcasts. I've guests done come on off of clips that we made. And I tell people, man, just be faithful with a few things because we serve a God that can put you in a season to rule over many.
That's good.
Oh yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely,
That is good.
That's
That is really good.
most
And you're
definitely,
absolutely
most definitely.
correct. Yeah. Furman and I, we actually used to work together. I recently left the my employment after 20 plus years. I'm like 25 years. I was there
Wow.
25 years. And I met him I met him through that employment, and I used to be a supervisor. And Affirming, I would love for you to tell them
Oh gosh.
what was said to you when people first when they were showing you your first day when they were showing you around. What was said to you when they first saw me? I think it's so
Well,
funny.
well, I just know that just stay away from you. When I say stay away from you, because you don't. When I say stay away from you, is you will put paperwork in their life. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, pretty much. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? But
I
other than
mean,
that, man,
but with that being said, that was the devil. That was the devil because what they did not say was I helped everybody when it came to putting paperwork in supervisors' life that messed with them as well. That's what wasn't said. And then I tried to be the I personally, I can't say I was the best supervisor. I would never say that because, of course, some people thought that, probably thought that, oh my God, I can't stand her ass. But, some people, was like, no, she's a good supervisor.
Mhm.
But regardless of the fact, Furman and I, we had we started a good friendship, and it what we talked about it. He approached me you know, um, about the podcast, and I was like, I thought about it, but I never had the courage to actually do it.
Mhm.
And I think you have to have the courage to do it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you have to have the courage to do it.
And
And yeah, I'm good at networking, and I know a lot of people. But
Mhm.
as far as talking on a platform, I never had any experience of that at all. I was actually on a guest on his other podcast, Walking His Ways. So when I saw how like he was really good at what he does. And I was like, man, a newfound respect was there. I was like, Jesus, what are you doing here? Like you have so many other talents. Like, and when he brought it to my attention, I was in. I was there. I was like, yes. When he said, let's do this, I was like, yes. If it's with you, most definitely. He look here, if I'm messing up, he's gonna tell me, and he's gonna use the scripture to tell me about it too. He's gonna tell me. He's gonna remind me. He think I don't realize it, but no, he's gonna remind me, and everything that he says, it makes so much sense. He's like, if you want to make money, if you want to do this here, remember that God says this and that and the third. And those are the things that really sticks with me. So, little brother, you have my heart because you have taught me a lot of stuff. So I did do
Well,
want
I
to put that
appreciate
out
the
there.
feeling.
So
Well, the feeling
yeah,
is
no, I
mutual.
having a chemistry with the people. Yes, thank you. Having a chemistry with the people that you work with, that is so important. So I definitely understand what you're saying, y'all, as far as a team and working as a team is so important because you can have that one person in there that mess up the whole thing. And like it's to me, I feel like sometimes is one, two, or three people. So, but in your case, y'all have so many different things to offer. Each and every last one of you guys have so many things to offer, and I think that's why your platform works so much. Speaking of platform, what platform do you guys use most? I would love to hear that.
We use Facebook the most. Facebook has been my best friend. And we do use YouTube. We have a few videos uploaded. We have a lot of them uploaded on YouTube actually. And we use Instagram. We don't use Instagram as much as we do Facebook though. But we're
That's
on
true.
all of those three.
So you get more. So
Awesome.
you get
You know,
more.
you know,
You're more successful on Facebook.
Yeah, as of right now, we are. I think we could be more successful utilizing YouTube for people that we don't know, but we
Mhm.
have a network, a community on Facebook. You don't have groups on YouTube, but you
Yeah,
have a community. You have a community on Facebook on our group.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're absolutely correct. I have a cousin of mine, and their Facebook group is called Marriage is the Ministry, and I remember joining. Um, Yeah, of course, because I wanted to support. And it literally was like 25 people, y'all. Like 25 people, and it was just close friends. I'm not a person that's on Facebook like that. That's why Furman's like, no, you need to get on Facebook. Like, like, what are you doing? If you want to be a part of this, you got to get on all platforms. So I had to familiarize myself with Facebook again. But when I saw I just did it like a kind of look over the groups that I was involved in. When I tell you they had thousands of members in that community again, I was like, whoa, it has really grown like thousands. I was like going from 25 people to thousands. I was like, whoa, they've been working. And I was like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, no, Facebook is a really good it's a really good tool. And I did not realize that. So I'm so glad that you have said that because it is a good tool. What do you guys think about TikTok? I know it's a young people thing. I don't know how old you guys are. I'm about to be 46, so TikTok. I'm just like scrolling. I don't know. So
Every day on TikTok, there's a new trend, and there's like the latest thing of how you're supposed to do a layout or whatever the case is, which is enticing, but it can also be a headache. Like as you get a little bit older, you're like, okay, it's too many different things for me to do on here. So let me just post my video that I posted to Instagram or my video that I posted to Facebook, and I'm gonna take it right over here and we're gonna do the same video, okay?
Yeah.
But I do think for us going forward, like we're gonna be starting the new year. Holidays is a hard time to make a lot of changes. But we kind of got to get back to what we were doing because we were doing a lot of content
Right.
and pushing it on all of the platforms. But as
Mhm.
Millie mentioned, Facebook is so easy to get to your group. Like you
Right.
get to your group, those people are invested in what you're doing. And it's easy to get lost amongst the negativity because there's that rage bait, that clickbait situation, and we're not
Oh.
those kind of people.
Right.
So it's like we're not gonna be able to follow some of those trends because we're not trying to rope you in with false
Yeah.
pretense. Like we're telling you these are real life situations, these are real topics, these are real people trying to get real answers. So um it's a lot easier to build that natural environment on Facebook than it is on other platforms for sure.
And like you said earlier, Larissa, you said, you're on TikTok and you're scrolling. Well, that's what TikTok is for. TikTok is for, 15 to 60-second videos, right? So it's not
Mhm.
for podcasting and, sharing, long content, right? So we don't utilize TikTok for that reason because people are scrolling fast on TikTok and their attention span. I mean, those people that are on TikTok are people whose
It's
attention
like,
span is like very, very little. You know what I'm saying? Right. So
Yeah.
can you imagine? I mean,
Oh no, most definitely because I get way more views from like
right,
my
right.
video game versus
Yeah.
if I post something that
mhm.
we have talked about. So yeah, most definitely. And my video game play is what I only put like what more than a minute, just like no more than 61 seconds,
Yeah.
literally. So
One,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
we
add to that
one,
though. I'm gonna add to that. I always say TikTok is the new record label. You got more people getting signed and going viral on TikTok than anything. I
yeah.
actually I actually got a friend of mine. She called herself the T-shirt doctor, and she made her first $1 million off of TikTok selling shirts. She
wait.
started,
I think I know
Yeah.
who you're talking about, actually.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think I know who
So
you're
so
talking
so so whether you young or old, all of these platforms have different engines. And once like I got a friend right now, she go to my church, she's in her 50s, and she was messing around one day and ended up getting 30,000 views.
about. Ain't that
Right.
something?
I
Then
agree.
she then she ended up getting like 100,000 views. So I tell people, man, it ain't just the attention span of the young people. The tool is universal. Of course, the young people are catching on faster because they got access to it. But it ain't no different than a remote, an old school remote that you was putting on the TV. You might not know all the buttons, but after a while, if you keep messing with it, you're gonna know the configurations.
Because I don't know all the
A
buttons.
lot of us,
Lord
a
have
lot of
mercy.
us, I remember when Facebook came out and they didn't even have where you can go live.
Right.
Then they
Right.
didn't
Yeah.
have you can
Right.
add the story. Then they start having these add-ons and all these different new features and stuff, right? So after a while, you start figuring it out. Then you got Meta. So all of them have different tools, even Snapchat.
Yeah.
I
No, you're
I
right.
use
Yeah.
and I use all of them because this is what I tell people. You don't know what's gonna hit first, and then some people get hit on TikTok. They don't use other platforms. I know people use only one, and they don't need the other ones.
Right.
That is
Right.
true. That is true.
Yeah,
I
I always say
algorithm.
it don't hurt to try because it be the thing that you think ain't gonna do nothing. That be the one
That
that
might
it
work.
takes the hardest.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Sure.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
we
Yeah.
take
No,
some of our
you're right.
BTS clips and just put them on there, you just like you say, you never know. You know what I'm saying? What
Mhm.
could happen with that?
yeah, because I've seen people do one. I did one on what was that?
It's a hit.
Uh what's the other one on Instagram? It's another one on Instagram. Threads. I
Oh
did.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thread.
yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
yeah.
Right now it's so new. I
Man,
suggest that whatever it is you're trying to do it on
yeah,
threads right
I
now.
did. I
It's
did
so
a
new.
simple post. I
Yeah.
did a simple post on Threads. It went off for 4 days. I ended up having like 15,000 clicks off of a post
Mm.
I was talking about God. You know what I'm saying? So again, you never know what's gonna hit, but it don't hurt to try.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you're absolutely correct.
That's
My
it.
kids are the ones that told me about threads. They were sending me videos and I was like, "What is this?" And I realized it was an extension to Instagram. And I was
Mhm.
like, "Golly, I am so far behind because I need to get with it. I need to get with the program." But I do believe that the algorithm is what is the most important thing, and getting your views from the algorithm is where you're going to get your hit or miss. You know, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is,
Mhm.
unfortunately. You know,
You know.
so
Sorry,
yeah.
guys.
Oh, definitely.
Mhm.
That's everybody still there. Also, let's talk
Yeah.
about that. Going by getting guests. How do y'all go about having guests on y'all platform? I know you gotta have that spirit of discernment because I know you have people have hidden agendas, right? So how do y'all go about having certain guests on y'all platform? How do y'all put that together?
So we have an intake form. So anyone that's interested, they can always hit us up at experiencethelion at gmail.com. So you can hit us up and we'll send an intake and it'll say like, what is your occupation? What is something that you're well versed in, you're knowledgeable about, or something that you would like to share with the masses? And
Mhm.
going off of that, we also have a list of topics that we want to go over for the upcoming season. So we kind of plug and play people who fit according to the topics that we already choose. And then sometimes you'll just have a guest that might just be so proficient or profound in something that we were like, you know what, let's go with that as the topic. Um, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right? Until that one guest is like, hey, I'm a STEM teacher. We had a guest that she came in, she's a science teacher, and she brought lemons, and we learned how to make battery, like how to make a light.
Batteries, how to make and use the energy from the lemons. Oh yeah, I love that
Yes.
kind of stuff.
So it's like, okay, well, of course the kids need to know this. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
this is beneficial. But also it might spark interest in students who didn't know that STEM
Yeah.
might be something for them, right? Um, so it's a two-part series, what we are
Right.
interested in talking about that we think people need to know, but also what do the professionals know and what do we want to share with the community, because it really comes down to a lot of us not knowing that there are other opportunities besides streamlined, doctor, nurse, lawyer, and working fast food. Like there's a lot
Mm.
of stuff in between there on a sliding scale.
I'm
Right.
gonna get in y'all business a little bit here. Okay. As far as what Facebook is paying you guys. Now you can answer, you don't have to, because I know when it comes to monetary issues, sometimes you need to be private. Silence is the best. But I do want to ask, just in case, there's a young streamer here or somebody who wants to get in the same thing that, we are talking about right now. When it comes to monetary stuff, how do you guys settle that? Do you guys have contracts? Do you guys are you guys actually are you guys making money enough to where it is separated between everybody? How is it, how is it done?
Anything that comes in is for the podcast. Like it's evenly distributed amongst the members of the team. um
Mhm.
but then also there are situations where like we had a women's conference, so like the ladies of the podcast were booked for the brunch, right, because it was a women's brunch. So that was split up between the ladies. However, any of our dues or anything that we do, it all goes into one pot and it's used for the betterment
For
of
the
the
podcast.
podcast. Yeah,
Mhm.
not just a, oh, give me, you know what I mean? Like
Because you're business
obviously.
owners. Yeah, you're business owners. You got to put money into your business. Yeah,
Absolutely.
basically.
I
Yeah.
wanted to say this. I wanted to go back to the previous question where you asked about how do we go and get our audience. And one of the things that was mentioned in that answer, the response, I think Rita, you may have said it, or was it? I'm sorry, no, it was Camille when she talked about. Was it Camille or you, Rita? I'm not sure, but we talked about having discernment. Um,
Hmm.
and I want to say that discernment is, is extremely important in podcasting, and who you have on your show, because you have to protect your mission, and
Yeah.
Right.
and your audience and your energy, right? And so one of the
Mhm.
things that I can say is that Camille is so on point with that discernment. Like that's one
Yeah.
of like I thought I was on point. She's on point with that discernment, and she'll tell you straight up, no, because X,
Yeah.
Y, Z, or I'm too sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like X, Y, and
Mm-hmm.
Z. So, I think that, as we were talking about that question, that just kind of stood out to me. That discernment piece is really
Yeah.
important because, again, you want to protect the integrity of your,
Yeah.
of the show. You want to protect the energy, you want to protect the audience, and not everybody has, good intentions where you're coming, when they're coming in, and not everybody is
Right.
really credible. And so you want to make sure that you have people that are credible. So I just wanted to throw that out there because it was still lingering on my spirit to share.
No,
No, but that
yeah,
is so
no,
true. That
absolutely.
is so true.
Absolutely.
Millie will text us and be like, "Y'all, the flyer's
Okay.
not going out yet because no." Like
Let Millie respond. I am so grateful that I don't even have to say anything. I love y'all so much. But yes, it is a definitely it's definitely a spirit of discernment that you have to have. But God, when you trust God, he's gonna allow your tribe to attract you. Like I
Mhm.
said, I didn't ask I think I asked Rita because I was
Mhm.
in a transition, but I didn't ask
Mhm.
Flo to be a part of the podcast. I didn't ask Kamisha, and I did not ask Cadero. They came because it was a part of their assignment.
Yeah.
Those that are for you gonna have some people that's gonna try, they're gonna wing themselves out anyway.
Mhm.
But if I do smell something, I let them know quick. I don't like it. I don't like it. Because you gotta protect it, and then you just God gonna tell
Yes.
you. He's gonna tell you. It's just like a baby. If you bring a thief and murderer around a child, they gonna figure it out. They may not know how to kill nobody or how to steal, but they gonna pick up on that bad energy. And when it comes
Mhm.
around, you shut it down at the door.
You're
Yes.
absolutely correct. I'm like it's so funny because I feel like throughout my life I've had to learn that and there are things that Furman and I have talked about on a deeper level, and I never realized how, like, I consider myself a loyal person. And I know that there are people that says that, but I really do consider myself a very loyal person. And when I say I want the best for everybody that is in my circle of friends, I do, friends and family. I believe, I was taught at a very young age that, my mama literally was like, hey, you don't have no friends. I'm your friend. So when I had friends, or people that I considered friends, it was very, very small. But it wasn't until I became older that I really had to have that discernment of who is really there for me and who
Mhm.
isn't. Um, and I allowed my loyalty and to get in the way,
Yeah.
even when I realized that it was not um, beneficial to me. It hurt me in the end. I recall a situation where I told a friend about a business opportunity because if I'm eating, look, we
Mhm.
all eating, like we all eating, and I told my friend this business opportunity, and I didn't realize that she actually did it, but she lied to me. And I was like, why would you lie to lie? I knew she was lying. I was like, why would you lie to me? Because I'm the one who literally told you about this here. I want to see you do well. I want to see you do well. And it wasn't until she ran into trouble where she asked for my help. Where she was like, okay, well, can you tell me how you do this here? I want us to be a family doing this here. And I realized she was just trying to use me at that point. I was like, no, I think the best thing you need to do is figure it out so you are able to learn it on your own. That is the best thing to do. Because
Mhm.
at that point, I did learn. Um, And it took a long time because look, this was like I was almost 40 at the time. So that should tell you something. I don't have all the answers at all. Like not at all. I don't have all the answers at all. So, and at that point I was thinking that I did know this person and I realized that I didn't. So discernment just doesn't come from guests or people that you meet just randomly. It
Mhm.
comes from people that you think that you know what I'm saying? People that and we have had guests on our show that we know. And they have had great information to share. Um but those are people that we have created that discernment where we know what they are saying is good information and they mean well. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely and Furman, I'm gonna let you speak on that as well. But as far as I'm concerned, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Furman?
Oh yeah, I just want to go back to the point. I know they mentioned that one of their topics was on relationships, money, and stuff like that. I know we in the times now we see a lot of stuff on social media. We see the whole thing about 50-50, and we see who brings what to the table, and we see all this other stuff. What solutions do y'all bring to your platform when it comes to this whole relationship thing? I never seen it's so much hatred that I'm seeing with amongst the men. Well, I said individuals that's going on. But what solutions do y'all bring to the platform when it comes to the whole relationship, things of that nature? Because I do believe in being compatible. I
Oh,
do
my
believe
friend
in
getting
working
right into
together.
it. Look, we talked about this earlier.
Right,
He
right,
went
and I
to
Like
do
it.
believe in it.
you
Oh,
talking
go
about
ahead,
like
but
what do
see,
you talking about what you bring to the table as far as what exactly? You
like,
talking about
Men and women. Men and
what's
women.
yeah,
Yeah, that's something that we
I
what
think
talked
the
solution do y'all
solutions
have in play?
I think the solutions that most of us are bringing to the table are our lived experiences, our different perspectives. You know, the things that I mean, that's really the only solution you can bring to the table, right? It's your lived experiences. And then we're also bringing on people that are experts. You know, we may bring a relationship coach on board. We may bring, a marriage counselor, something of that nature. So we're
about.
bringing in people that have the knowledge, that have the expertise, that are able to share, the insight, the knowledge, the wisdom, that the viewers need, right? And then also, us as a team, we're bringing in our own lived experiences, which I believe, when you have the lived experience, it does make you an expert in certain in those areas where you have already lived an outcome in and you have succeeded, in those areas. So, yeah.
yeah, I always go off of two, are you a solution or are you a problem?
Are you?
Because one thing I don't care about, I don't care about no title. I care about action. Are you impacting the people around you in a positive way? Are you being an influence or are you being a poison? Because a lot
Yeah.
of times titles they start tripping. People can get very big headed. I've been around people who's cocky. I can feel their body language out, and I watch their actions. My grandmother showed me some years ago. If you listen to a person and watch them, they'll tell them they say,
Mhm.
I don't
Yep,
care if
by
you're
their
the
fruit you
most
should know
intelligent
them.
person in the room, you can still be a butthole. You know what I'm
Yeah.
You're nasty, you ugly. How you treat the people around you? If they serving, do you talk to them crazy? Are you talking out of love? Are you being a person of hate? And I heard you say this early on because I've had people come on before, they was talking crazy, like all men think like that. I say, you a lie. I don't think like that. I'm a man of this. He was like, you know what? That's because you got a good head on your shoulder. I said, that don't mean nothing. And I had a little back and forth with him. And to this day, me and him are still good brothers because you're not finna put me in that category. It's just like
I
somebody
know
saying,
that's
all women
right.
like that. All women like that. All women ain't like that, man. I know some loving women, but I know some crazy ones too. Same as I do men. I know some great kings. I know some trifling girls. But at the end of the day, what I go off of is your action. How are you treating the people around you? Because you can be a public success and a private failure. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would
Ooh, that was
Oh yeah, most
good.
definitely.
Yes.
just
That was
just be
good.
real and authentic, man. Because the other stuff you lying to me.
I think Floor made a
I
really
agree.
good um she made a really good point. Um
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to personal experience. And I know y'all talked about um talking about trauma on your podcast, and trauma and or live just experience period will lead you. It just does it. I mean, it just does, because a person will respond. They can get better or worse, but they
Right.
will respond how they have experienced life. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
um, Furman, and this just goes back to your question. And anybody, please, whatever, tune in. If you feel like I'm wrong or anything like that, please speak your mind. Um, I just feel like you can be like the quote unquote best wife, and you might, or husband, and you might have a wife or a husband that does not treat you well, and you might go into the next relationship thinking, okay, well, I got to protect myself, let me put this wall up, or let me act like this here, because I don't want to be taken advantage of. I don't want that in my life. I don't want to experience that. And I feel like, and this is just unfortunately personal experience as well, but this is how, and like I said, it's not just relationships, it's friendships, it's family, because people
Mhm.
will treat you the same way. And
Mm.
I don't think that there's such a big difference when it comes to relationships and family and or friends. They will treat you the same way. um but
I'll add to what you're saying because I'm big on what you just said too. Because I went through that. I'm like this. Hurt people don't want to heal, and heal people don't want to hurt. When
yeah,
you understand your value, right? I would say when you know that you're treasure, you'll never let nobody trash you. That's number one.
yeah,
So when you understand your value, you start understanding, okay, if I'm precious cargo, I gotta be careful on who hands I land in.
mm,
Mhm.
A lot of
yeah,
time we don't give each other grace. You got to give yourself grace, and then you got to give somebody an opportunity to reveal who they are. Sometimes the flesh can override the spirit. And if the flesh override the spirit, that's how you get mistake because you wasn't in love, you were just in like. See,
yeah,
like goes into love, but sometimes we can overcompensate ourselves just because, hey, I want contact, I want a person of interest, I want a hug, I want intimacy. But then when you get around that person, life starts showing you who that person really is.
yeah.
Because
That's
anybody can put on a mask, anybody can go into an act, even
absolutely
with your
correct.
even with your family members. I'm big on when you start seeing people for who they are, you gotta believe them. Quit being like, oh, they're just family. No, man, sometimes you gotta pray and ask God, put the people around me that you intend for me to be around. And if it's not meant for me to be around them, let me make room and put them in the hands of God and go figure something else out. I had to do it my personal self. And when I tell you God has blessed me with other people that blood couldn't make us thicker, when I'm around them, I feel peace. I feel warm. I feel embraced. We celebrate each other. And guess what? It's drama free. Every now and then, if we got wrinkles, it don't take long getting the wrinkles out because we're not in a position to hurt each other.
Mhm.
Yeah,
If you don't have a purpose partner, that's why a lot of times you keep getting these unnecessary hits. You got head trauma. And when you have head trauma, you don't go get healed for recovery. Now you're trying to guard it because you don't want to get hit again. But if you don't go get healed, you won't see that coming if you get tagged again.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people don't realize that they it's funny, because when I think about love in this being, I think
Hmm.
that people love the way that people make them feel.
Hmm.
Necessary, versus actually loving them sometimes. Now,
Right.
I'm not saying this everybody, but I am saying for the majority of the part. When I think about people that are in love with each other,
Hmm.
they are in love with how that person makes them feel. Um,
Hmm.
One thing that I used to, I've had, and I haven't dated very long. I had been married for, like, I had been with my spouse for like 18 years. We are separated now, but I was with him for 18 years, and we separated due to the fact I literally got sick. So, but that's a different story. Um, and so Of course, when you're sick, and I'm not saying that I was perfect. I was a horrible person when I was sick, and I did not realize how mean I could get when I was sick. I saw it with my aunt when she got sick, and I was like, dang, why is she so mean when she was sick? But now I understand why she was so mean. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get why she was so mean. But and I'm not saying that it was his fault, but when you I feel like when you make a promise to a person, you have to, stick with that promise. Stick with that promise 100%. Like don't try to, try your best. Try your best at the end. You know, and I'm not the hardest person to please. If that man was to be like, if that man at the end of the day would have been like, after the first year that we had separated, would have been like, hey, I'm coming back home, I would have never been like, okay, no, you're not. No, I'm very like, okay, come on back home. You know what I'm saying? We have children. We made a life for each other. I've been with you since I was 18 years old. I'm about to be 46. So, it makes a big difference. Prior to this, I would have never talked about it. But because I am where I am, I can talk about it.
Mhm.
And I don't have any problem talking about it because I know how I feel. I know how I feel about it. And I feel like I have matured enough to be able to talk about it without being hurt as much as I was. But with that being said, ooh, that's just crazy. I just feel like sometimes a lot of people, one thing he used to tell me all the time that I'm his comfort. And I don't know why, but when I tell you that really pissed me off, it really did. I was like, I'm your comfort. Comfort. What the hell is what does that mean? Comfort. I I don't know. He said he wanted me to take it as a good thing, but I don't know. For some reason I got offended. And it could have been just like, it could have been just me, myself, and I. But I just felt offended. I just feel like, we were just we were so strong. Like to this day, I still say that we have had a successful marriage. I don't feel like it was not a successful marriage. It did not end the way it was supposed to quote unquote end, but I still feel like it was successful. We raised beautiful children. They are on a path to where they are they're all successful. We have grandchildren. They're all good. They're healthy. My house is now paid for. I don't ask this man for anything. And I feel like I'm at this here point in my life where I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with myself. And it's unfortunate that I'm happy with myself without him because I never saw myself without this man. But going back to what I was initially about to say, I feel like he just wanted to be he was in love with the fact of how I made him feel, of how of the joy that I made him feel. And when he just did not feel that joy anymore, it just to him, I just feel like he wasn't with it. But joy isn't always what you're gonna get in relationships. You're gonna go through some stuff. You're gonna go through some problems. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go through some issues that is bad. Um,
Yeah, I mean, relationship is,
yeah,
it takes two people, and you can't carry someone else's growth. You can't carry their decisions.
I agree.
You carry their responsibility. Both people need to show up for each other. And put in equal,
That's it.
effort. So,
yeah.
yeah.
But you
I
said
always say
two
too, you got to
things.
give
Yeah, can you
yourself
go back
grace.
to
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
you're absolutely correct. I just started saying separated. I never said it, even though we've been separated for like 2 years. But I just like for the last past two shows, I've only said separated twice. Um, never said it before. I think I was embarrassed almost. But yeah, no, I had to learn that loving yourself is the most important thing. And loving yourself without the other person has to be the most important thing as well. Now, does he love me? I feel that he does. I feel like he wants the best for me. Um, through my sickness, and because I have been sick throughout throughout these last past 2 years. I'm not saying that he hasn't been there for me. He's definitely been there for me. But I just feel like he has made that he made that mistake. Because I would never have left. I would not have left if he ever gotten sick. And I think that with women, a lot of women, I remember reading this thing that
Mm-hmm.
that said that men live longer when they're married versus women. Um, Unfortunately,
Sometimes that ain't always true either.
well,
Right.
but I did read it. I did read it, and
Yeah,
according
everything that gets that's legible ain't always true.
Come on.
Yeah, there's just a lot of there is a lot of statistics when it just comes to
that,
certain aspects, just because naturally, like, women are nurturers in comparison to men. Like, men
yeah,
don't
Mhm.
find nurturing until they have offspring, and even then, if they don't have close
Mm.
relationships with that offspring, they don't find that nurture aspect,
yeah, yeah,
right? And
yeah,
so that comes with the territory, just because we're naturally innately built certain types of ways, right? And unless
mhm,
you're raised a certain type of way, you don't have that extra little bit of compassion for other people. Because you got to think about people that are raised as only children versus people who are raised with a lot of siblings and learning to share early versus not having to share. So many aspects play into the dynamics of that. But I will say something you
Right.
said during this whole conversation. You mentioned, sorry, you mentioned some things, and in that, all I heard was accountability and acknowledgement, because that is the biggest aspect of any relationship. Being accountable for the
mhm,
fact that I was a mean person, I know I did some things that didn't add to success, right?
yeah,
And also um acknowledging that he wasn't a bad person. It just was that we were going through a situation that, put us in a bind, right? And that in itself is growth. And that it is what relationship coaches, or like, um, you know, wh- however, I guess I'll say relationship coaches or gurus or whatever they want to call it. That's the part that we miss a lot. It's
yeah,
just the sheer fact that people have to be accountable and people have to acknowledge where things went wrong and what responsibility they have in that. If
absolutely.
if you can do that, you can, even walking away, you said it yourself, it was still a successful marriage. So that's not shaming someone, that's not putting them down, that's not saying I'll never do it again, but being content with finding peace, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. No, you're
There's
absolutely correct. No, no, you're absolutely correct. I'm actually getting my degree in psychology, so it's so many things that I have learned from my from the courses. And I'm at Grand Canyon University, which is a Christian based university. And one of the things that I've had to work on is my bluntness. Because apparently that is not effective communication. Um, it is negative. Um, that's something that I was never taught. I come from a family of matriarchs, and they are very, very strong women. Although, those women in my family have had long term marriages, but that doesn't, and the only successful marriage that I could actually say that they were happy in were my grandparents. I can't necessarily say that about my mom or my aunties, although they've been married, but that doesn't mean that they were happy. You know what I'm saying? Happiness and being married for a long time is totally different things. I would rather be happy versus being just married for a long time. Um, so I had to learn the difference. And so taking these courses have really made a difference. And I heard y'all podcast, like I went back. I went back. So you know what I'm saying? So these are things that I have continually try to learn and listen to, as far as people people opinions about different things in relationships, because these relationships doesn't just affect your spouse. Like I said earlier, it does affect how you come off to family. It affects how you come off towards friends. All of that, it makes a big old difference. It make a huge difference in your life.
And you said earlier, did you say you were separated or you were divorced?
We're separated. We're not divorced. Yeah.
But even in in your conversation, the way you talked about the accountability piece, and you talked positively about him, just shows the level of healing, and that you're on right now as well. And though things may not, they may not be the way that you would initially would have wanted them to be. I mean, it just shows that you still have, there's still some healthy components about you for you to even speak that way in the midst of a separation, right? And so, I'm not sure where you guys are headed, but don't look at this as an ending, but this can be a season of powerful beginnings. And you just talked about starting school and going to psychology and all the different things that you've realized through this journey. So I would encourage it, for you to continue looking at it that way, as a season of new beginnings. A separation is a new beginning, whether it leads to you guys coming back together, reconciling, or whether it leads to you all going, through a divorce. Either way it goes, it's still a season of new beginnings, and it's a time to rediscover, to self-reflect, to grow, to improve yourself. To work on that self-love that you talked about.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely. Most
But you know
definitely.
what? I want to
Go ahead.
pinpoint on what Flo said earlier about two people. I'm going biblical for a moment. The Bible does say,
Next is the
how
church.
can two walk
Yes.
together except they agree?
Yeah.
Wait, no, the scripture does say, how can two walk together except they agree? And it takes two willing people to make a thing work. And
Mhm.
I don't base stuff off feelings. I don't base stuff off emotion, because emotion can lead you astray. But it's all
Yeah.
about the principles. It's all about, even though
Yes.
you may be feeling bad or feeling down, I still gonna have to keep running forward. Does that make sense? Because we're
Right.
in a
Ooh, it
time
does.
now where
Yeah.
everybody wants to bail out on any little thing. You sneeze
Right.
wrong, oh, I'm leaving. But
Right.
then also, was in my spirit as well, is being patient as well, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Right.
Because you gotta think about it, it's two different people from two different walks of life come merged
Yeah.
together as one.
Mhm.
So we have to be patient with each other in the midst of our growth and involvement, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And I think
Yeah,
we live in a culture where marriage is not even viewed as a lifelong expectation anymore. People get into it, and it's like, if it doesn't work out, then it's cool. I'm out, and I can go do this all over again somewhere else. So we've lost value. In that, and we're also a culture that's looking for quick fixes, right? So if we can't get this
right,
fixed
right.
quickly, like you can, and that's part of that patience component you just talked about, right? And
Mhm.
so, I really do think that it takes two people who are, surrendered, in Christ, to be able to surrender to each other. It takes two people that know who they are and who are fully, I'm not gonna say fully healed, because life always finds ways to break you, even when you are, in the journey of marriage. But people that are intentional about, their relationship with God, being surrendered, and really, like you said, tapping into the principles, because it's the principles that work. It's not just, you know, um, having the knowledge, but actually applying it, and walking in those principles that actually, because a lot of us, how many of us know, we know about God, we know about the word, we know what the word says, and we're in these marriages, we're in these relationships, but we're not applying any of that. We're not doing any of those things, right? And
I
so,
agree, Flo.
yeah.
Right.
And I'll say
I agree
this
with
too.
that 1,000%.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you gotta give yourself grace at the end of the day, because marriage ain't for everybody. Trials and
Amen.
tribulations, trials and tribulations kick everybody, but I don't care who you are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, this is what I'll add to you. I can't see your name on here, but I'll tell you this:
Oh, it's low.
when you
No.
when you
It's it.
go when you go when you go through a trial,
Larissa.
Mhm.
Flo. Larissa.
when you go through a trial, right?
Mhm.
Trials just show you who people are. Is that a bad thing? Sometimes not necessarily. Trials and tribulations ain't for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh
Right.
yeah, most
Sometimes
definitely.
some like watch this. Everybody can't fast and pray. I
Yeah.
know some people who can read the scripture, man, better
That's
than I
true.
can ever imagine a word. Tell them to fast 2 weeks. Them Negroes can't fast 4 hours. So everybody in the kingdom ain't gonna necessarily follow the blueprint all the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're in a relationship and you go through storms or you
Right.
go through spiritual warfare, that's life. People gonna go through stuff. You'll get somebody be like, "Oh, I ain't know I was gonna have to do all that," and they tap out. Look at the pursuit of happiness when he went through all them storms. Old girl got up and left. He had to get his son and raise him. What they show you is life. We
It's
go through stuff, and then when people leave and they don't come back, uh, I understand. So I tell people this: like, don't destroy yourself over something you made a mistake on. If you don't understand God's grace, then why you gonna get a knife and stab yourself in the heart? Hell, if that was the case, all of us would be in a, tribulation period. He'll do an earthquake and swallow us up like he did back in the biblical day when they were worshiping the golden calf. You can't destroy yourself over something you had a human moment on.
and I
Now,
like
if you go back to that person and say, "Hey, I apologize for being so rough," and you give your heart to that person, apologize, and they either accept it or I say you either respect it or reject it. If they reject it, that's on them. At least I gave it to you and said, "Hey, my bad. I apologize."
yeah, I
So
think
You
once you
did your
do your
part.
part, man, from there going forward, give yourself grace.
yeah, I
When
think that I think
and hold on, let me finish. When you heard people be talking about, "Oh, my parents were married for 30 years," hell, they didn't tell you 27 of them they was unhappy. Them numbers don't
Well,
mean them numbers don't mean nothing to me. I
it
watch people action. Man, I'll never forget this. I was at a restaurant, right? And it was this old couple. They look like they were married for 45 years. I literally watched them for a whole hour sit at the table and look each other in the face, and they said nothing the whole time.
yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
I,
I looked, dang, that's sad. Or
mm,
you somebody like just sit there numb because you done gave your life to this person, man, and they not happy. That's why I tell people a lot of time I tell you what's missing too. People don't have them old school conversation no more. Check in with each other, man. You good? Even on your year anniversary, hey, what do you think we can improve at?
That's
Do you
true.
think I'm off? Do you think you off? Sometimes, and then sometimes you'll come to that conclusion and say, "Hey, I don't want to be married no more." That person tell you that. That don't mean it's the end of the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You know
like
what I'm saying? I say, give yourself grace, man. Go through there and do the work. And then here's another important piece. Get you a village of people that got wisdom that can walk you through this stuff. A lot of time, man, you sharing stuff with people who can't help you. They'll tell you something crazy.
Yeah. And I definitely believe when it comes to and seeking help as far as professional help, it's no way I would seek help in someone that does not have that experience in marriage. It's like you cannot relate to what I'm going through. Now you might have good knowledge or good points to make, but unless you have actually experienced it, I just a personal, and this is just my personal opinion, I just don't feel like if you have not gone through it, is no way you can tell me about it. So from a personal aspect, I just can't do it. I cannot do it. It's so weird that you mentioned what you mentioned earlier. For several years, like our marriage was super happy. It was really happy until I got sick. Now I just feel like um sickness is what's really going to show you where a person heart is at, you know what I'm saying? Because it, man, when they say through sickness and work, man, they're not lying. They're not lying. Like we've had such a great, it's been situations where I've had people that was like, man, we didn't even know you guys even had arguments. Like that was our relationship because we did it. Like we have, great kids. We have had a good relationship. We started off as friends, which I think is super important when you have a relationship. Because it allow you to kind of know a person. But as you know, and everybody here on this panel know, as you become older, you change. I mean, change is inevitable. So, you will change and your thought process will change along with it. So, but we had a great marriage. He's a great father. Even throughout separation, he's a great dad. Like I would never ever take that away from him. He's a wonderful father. And our kids are adults, so our kids are not little. Great father.
Yeah.
But and of course that he I think he has realized that what you know some things that he think he wanted at the time is not what he wants right now. But
Right.
Can I
like
ask you something? Can I ask you something real quick? Are you
go ahead.
talking to anyone as far as counsel to help you through this?
So I'm gonna tell you one thing. So we so no. Okay, so
And I,
initially
the reason and the reason why I'm asking you this because I can feel your heartache, and
Right. We can feel the
I
heavy.
would I would advise if you don't have a village to please get with someone that has that capacity that can walk you through that stuff because sometimes what happened is if you don't do that, it's gonna be compartmentalized and you're gonna have a conversation one day and all this gonna come out at one time.
well,
Or
I'm gonna tell
even
you something. I actually don't have the heartache, and I appreciate it because
It may not necessarily
initially,
be a heartache, but what I'm saying is I can feel that from you. That's why I asked, and you just
I mean, I
confirmed it.
feel
Not saying
look,
nothing
when I talk.
wrong. Not
No,
not
no,
saying
no,
nothing
no, no,
wrong.
no. I feel you. I feel you. No, I'm just very passionate when I talk about certain things.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
nothing. It's nothing
actually,
wrong with being passionate. I'm just telling
yeah,
you what I feel, and when the
yeah,
reason
yeah.
why I asked it, soon as I asked it, you confirmed it because the reason why I'm telling you this because I've been
Mhm,
through a divorce myself. So when you go through stuff like this, I can
mhm.
relate to you
it's heavy.
of a pain of
Yeah.
something where you have to go to somebody that can walk you through that, if that makes sense. Because if not, it's like a feeling that's still sitting there. It's like a boat that's still sitting there and it's never moved until you address the situation at hand.
That's good. Good.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this here. So we have talked to at least two people. We talked to two people. The first time we
Even
talked
if it ain't, even if it ain't him, I'm just saying that do it for yourself as well,
Right.
so you can
There.
have that peace within yourself. Because sometimes if it's
oh
two
yeah,
of y'all
no,
and
myself,
they
yeah,
really
no,
don't,
myself,
right,
yes, I have.
right.
No,
Because
no, you're right.
even if they don't want to, even if they don't want to do it for themselves, do it
Mhm.
for yourself. You
That's
know what I'm
good.
saying? Because at the end of the day, you don't know what's in somebody's mind. They can just be sitting there with you and mind be somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
And
right.
you're
then
absolutely correct.
you have to get that clarity and closure for yourself.
That's
Oh
good.
yeah, no, no,
One of the
Right.
you're
things you said
absolutely
earlier,
Good.
correct.
Cordero, one of the things you said earlier, Cordero, you said, marriage isn't for everybody, and that's so true. Marriage isn't for the faint at heart because, the vows that you say in sickness and in health to death do us part, those vows are real and they'll test your patience, they test your commitment, and they test your ability to grow. You know what I'm saying? And so, uh, they test your character, but at the same
Yeah,
time, those tests are there to help you grow and to become together, you know, um, individually and together, and collectively, the best version of you, the best version of who you're supposed to be. So I just wanted to add that because he said that and it stood out to me. He's like, marriage is not for the faint, it's not for everybody. He's right for those reasons because those vows, I think we just say them lightly and throw them in the air when we're getting married, not
we
realizing
do.
there's going to be seasons that are going to really take you through some
Huh.
fires. You get what I'm
Sis,
saying?
you are absolutely correct, and that's why there are a lot of
But
marriages that do not work.
Right. Yes.
I like the
but
Yes.
I
part.
want to say this too. But then also, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I like the point on how she takes accountability for it.
Oh yeah.
Took the
Right.
Yeah,
accountability.
But
and that's
also, I want to
something
say
that I
this
had to
too.
learn. Go ahead, Furman. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
But
You're
also, I want to
lagging,
say
so I couldn't hear
this
you.
too.
He's been so quiet.
Yeah. But also, I want to.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all still hear
But
me?
also, I want to say that. Yeah. Yeah. But also, I want to
And I
say
also
that
want to
Jesus
tell.
also
I
say that
also want
Hold
to
on,
tell you.
Cordero.
when a
Hold on,
person's
hold on.
heart
He's
No,
wax
no, no, no,
cold.
no. I'm finna say.
saying
I'm gonna say.
something. He's
Go
speaking.
ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, you good. No, what I was saying, many hearts wax cold. When a person's hearts wax cold, you can't do anything about it.
Come on.
And
Mm-hmm.
I had this conversation with somebody yesterday, just like when Jesus with the young rich young ruler. Remember when Jesus had a conversation with the young rich young ruler? I kept all these commandments. He said, he elected one thing: sell your possession, give to the poor. He walked away sorrowful. You didn't see it where Jesus went after that young man. He let that young man be with. He let that young man go, and he didn't chase after that man.
That's
Point of the
good.
story
That's
I'm
good.
saying is,
Mm-hmm.
if a person walk out and leave you, let them leave. That's just me. I'm at the point in my life. I would never convince somebody to be with me. If I have to convince you to be with me, then you're not. If that makes sense
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
on that,
you're absolutely
yeah, hear me.
correct.
Now
But
that's good.
I do believe
And
that
that's why I was saying we
sometimes
never seen Jesus. But yeah,
I do believe sometimes people are confused though. I think sometimes people do
because it takes two willing people. And I've been in a
Yeah, it
you're right.
does.
situation.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Now as far as now
But also I
what
want to
might
say
show up
I could
is the
because
fact that I might feel like now no one wants their marriage to end. No one wants their marriage to break up. No one. I don't know anybody who does unless it's completely a situation where there's some type of abuse or anything. Something like that. I can definitely understand that. So, but in my case, and I can only speak, I did not want that. That's something I did not want. But I do understand, and I think the best thing for me was like lo and behold was going back to school and as far as effective communication. I don't know if you guys know, but we come from a law enforcement background, and law enforcement is one of those things that is one of those careers where divorce rates are super high along with the military and stuff like that. So it's super high. So we come from that type of background. So I understand now why. But no one wants that. Like I said, no one wants their long-term relationship to end. But I do understand what Furman is saying, and I feel the exact same way. It's no way that I would want I'm not going to beg somebody to stay with me that do not want to stay. Period. I'm not going to do
Mhm.
that. That's something I'm not going to
no, you
do.
never do that.
No,
You never
I'm
put
just I'm going
it's
to
always
speak my
about
piece.
valuing yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
value yourself. Exactly. Now,
And
as far as speaking with somebody, I do agree with you. Did he lose? I lost him.
No, he's
I
there.
do
no, no,
agree
no.
with.
I'm
Oh,
still
okay,
here.
okay.
No,
Yeah, no, I
what
do
I was
agree.
gonna say,
Go
what I was
ahead.
gonna say, not to cut him off earlier. I was just gonna say, number one, thank you for sharing it with us because I know as we all start talking, you feel led to say that to us. So thank you, number one, for sharing it
Yes,
with us.
vulnerability.
Because
Well, you know
I,
what?
I
That was something that he
I've
wanted to
been
talk
through.
about before the show was ended. So I'm glad that we like I said, it was something that I probably would not have spoke about my personal life. But you know what? I'm in a position where it is my life. And guess what? I have a voice. I have a voice, and this is a platform. And guess what? No one is going to relate on relationship issues, and I live by what I say, and I speak as far as when I said that if I'm looking for a therapist or a psychologist or a talk therapist, because there's definitely a difference. If you go to a psychiatrist, the only thing they're going to want to do is just give you medication versus a psychologist or a therapist or a counselor where they will talk to you.
This is why
If
the
I'm
village.
talking,
This is why that village is important too, because you need that
oh
village.
yeah, oh yeah, but
God
you
remind
gotta
you,
be
right?
careful about
That
that village
village,
too.
that village, the village helps though, because this is what I tell people too, man. Also pray. This is what I've done, and this has helped
Mm,
too. I always pray that God give me a circle that people who got a whole heart and that He intended for me to be around. Because if I do it, I know I'm gonna mess it up. But if
Right.
God give you your divine purpose partners, one
yeah,
thing about God, He don't make mistakes on who He connect us to. Sometimes we do it out of flesh, but if you pray by the Spirit, you will know when God send you your
Yeah.
people because it's peace, it's harmony, it's serenity, it's warm. Like the people that I pray for, I got around me now. I can be going through anything. I can call them, pull up, and we walk each other through it. If they bleed, we can cry together, we pray, and we recover. Why? It's because I prayed for that, right?
Right.
Once you get that, then you know what's precious cargo and what you need to leave aside because
Right.
you can't share something precious with somebody who ain't got the capacity to help you through that no way.
Yep.
yeah,
That's
They'll
true.
rub out instead of
of
showing you how to
course.
stitch and lick your wounds and recover. right?
Of course.
So,
Yes.
so,
Right.
so you are 100% correct. You got to be mindful of who's around you, and if you don't have that circle, that's why I tell people just get around people you know you can trust. Like the brother that's been on here talking this whole time, he sound like he a great person to be around to
He
walk you through
is,
this.
man. Let me tell you something. Furman's my boy. That's my little brother from another mother. Let me tell you something. He is that's my friend. And like I told y'all earlier, my group of friends is very small. Besides from Furman, my other two friends that I have known, I've known them since I was 14 years old. And that's it. Like those are my only two friends and their wives who unfortunately have passed away, both of them, unfortunately. They were like my best friends. So that was my group. Those were my
Well,
people. So yeah,
thank you for sharing. I something I was gonna ask. I'm not sure what all other topics we have because I know a few of us got to get off here in a minute.
yeah.
Uh, but I really do thank you
Yeah.
for sharing because I was gonna say something about manifestation because with you, I see some blanks around you, but if you speak to your circle, they'll be filled because you got a great mind. You just need other minds that help
Mm.
you get to where you need to where you should be at, right? Because I always say don't never disqualify yourself for what you overqualified for. That can
Ooh,
be
that is so
love.
good. That's some.
That can be
You
a
know what?
great
That is
team.
so good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. That can be a team. That
That.
can be a team you need. That can be love you need. Never disqualify yourself for what you overqualify
Oh
for. Just
yeah.
make room
Oh yeah.
for it. Speak life because if you keep playing this song in your head, it ain't gonna never go away. But if you ask God to help you go to that next phase and speak to your circle, before you know it, you'll have a multitude of great people and y'all can get great things done. That's why I call it compounding the interest and not no liabilities.
You know, it's so funny. I'm sitting up here talking
Right.
about myself, but that's one question that was going to be asked. How do you guys like? What is the situation as far as the people in your lives, like your spouses or your significant other? Do they support your dream? What you are doing? Are they supporting you wholeheartedly?
I'm
My
single and celibate, so
Mine do too. Yeah, my honey, he supports me all the way. Yeah, absolutely. Behind everything I do. And it can be little or big.
That's how
That's
it should be.
great.
Right.
That
That's how it should
is.
be.
At the
Yes.
time when I
I
started
mean, because
my
at the end of the day, you want it.
Go ahead. I couldn't hear
Go
you.
ahead.
no, go ahead, brother. My bad.
Oh yeah, I was saying that's how it's supposed to be because you motivate, inspire, and you hold each other accountable. You bring the best out of each other. If we're not bringing the best out of each other, then what are we here for? That's just
Yeah.
my
Not for
philosophy. But
real.
go ahead.
And sometimes you're gonna disagree because when I started, my
Mm-hmm.
previous was opposite of me and made that up front like, hey, I don't talk to people like that. I don't fool with people, so do what you do. And we got that understood. And I kept moving. And that's what I tell people. When you build something, you're not gonna agree on everything. And it's okay. Like if I'm gonna go build a house and you be like, man, I ain't no framer, I ain't no mason, I ain't finna do that. Don't get mad at them. Go build a house because guess what's gonna happen? The dumbest thing you can do is pull them and they don't want to do it. And then one situation, bang, now you over here done had a kaboom when you should have paid attention and heard them the first time. That's why you see people get in these businesses. Look at Turkey Leg Hood. Look at all these other
Exactly.
things because over time, some gonna happen and the root of that situation gonna manifest. It happens every single time. I've seen it happen over 20 some odd time with people around me, people that I didn't know. And then when you go interview them, the first thing they say, well, I really didn't do this, but I was just trying to. No, just tell the truth. See, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times people be living a lie. Just tell the truth. If you don't want to do it, say you don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right
That
about
lie
that.
gonna manifest after a while, man. When you be seeing people like, man, what? I thought this was well put together. Ain't nothing well put together. The only thing well put together is God's grace. Ain't now one of us well put together. We all trying to figure this stuff out.
Amen.
That's why I tell people get around some real people that have real conversation. I ain't gonna never tell nobody I'm well put together. I'm in a hospital bed beside you. Hell, I need help too. Without God's hand, I'm tore out the frame.
I know that's
And we
right.
all in work.
And if
We
you don't
all
be
we all
real
are
with
working to
yourself,
make.
you can't be real with nobody else, man. That's all it is.
I agree. I agree 1,000% on that. I really do.
This is
I
true.
knew about the
This
greatest
is
wrap it
true.
on up because I know people have to do about the greatest wrap it on
Yep.
up.
Yep.
Before we get
It's
ready to
crazy.
depart,
It's
do y'all
crazy.
have
I'm
any?
sorry. That's me. My freaking. That's me by accident. My bad. Let me unplug
All
this
right,
here. I know
before we get ready,
people are popping up.
But we got to
looking
get ready to
forward to
park. I
seeing.
know everybody got stuff they got to do, and we got to get ready to go play some
Yes.
top golf later.
Yeah, but
Yes.
thank y'all
Do
again
y'all
for
Thank you so
having
have
me, though.
any
much.
words?
Where's my
Absolutely.
invite?
Oh, yeah, welcome.
Oh,
We gonna
you're
play
welcome
top golf.
anytime, sis.
Thank you guys for
So,
the
Yeah, we
invite.
gonna
so
play top
thank
golf this
Yes,
evening
thank
at eight.
you.
yes. Thank. And this is my first time going to Top Golf. I ain't never been.
Oh, we'll have lots of fun. You deserve
Yes,
it.
first time.
Yeah.
Them kids gonna want to go, but they gonna be like, They want me to pay for it though. I'll be like, no.
Have fun.
So,
Have
thank you.
fun.
So, thank you guys for showing up. This have been a great conversation. I wanted, oh my gosh, the time fly by. Jesus, time really flies by for real, for real. This because there's so much stuff that we could just like, and if we don't cut it off, like Jesus, it would just go on and on and on. So, but thank you guys for showing up and giving us all the info about your podcast and who wants to talk about their podcast and where they can, what time your podcast starts. Who wants to talk about that? Let's hear it.
Go ahead, Rita.
Go ahead, Rita.
Hold on, let me get Rita up
I
here.
just want to say thank you guys for having me on here. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you guys. And I got to see those pictures from the photo shoot that Millie did. I remember seeing you guys in the studio. So I got to go look at those pictures.
Okay. Sounds good. Yes, for sure. Yeah, we need to do some more. We need to do some more pictures, really.
At
We
seven.
I'm working on my timeliness,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
I'm working on my timeliness because look, my my husband ain't never he ain't never been a timely person. So I think he done rubbed off on me. So look, Furman's like, no, honey,
Don't be blaming him now. You're supposed to be taking accountability. No, I'm just joking.
I know, but that's his fault for real. He ain't never been on time for nothing, so he done rubbed off on me for real. Lord Jesus, he done rubbed off on me. But thank y'all guys. Go ahead and let's. Okay, so we can catch y'all on Facebook. That is the platform that you guys normally do your show on all the time. Correct?
Yes. It's
You have the
7
Line Experience podcast on Facebook, Instagram. Just you can look us up and tune in. You want to be a guest? Like Rita said earlier, you can reach out to us directly and let's have a ball.
Every
Let's end the year strong and walking in 2026 with purpose, passion, manifestation, all that great
Come
stuff.
on now, say it again, brother.
Purpose, passion, manifestation, all that great stuff.
Period. That's what we're
Period.
doing.
Already. But we can also catch it. Y'all gonna start YouTubing as well, right? Or do you guys already have a YouTube that you guys are on right now?
Yes, we
Yes,
have.
we're on YouTube as well.
Okay.
And like I said, we ain't hard to find. Y'all can reach out to us directly, collectively. We all a team. We move as a unit.
All right. This sounds good. And look, and when I get my when I finally graduate with my psychology degree, y'all can have me on there as a psychologist. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but thank you guys for showing up. We really appreciate it. Furman.
Oh, that's pretty much sums it up. I just want to ask them, do they have any words of wisdom? I just want to ask them, do they have any words of wisdom, any sign of advice? Do they want to share with the audience that's a live stream and go and watch the replay? So go ahead.
Absolutely. One of my mottos is, and it's changed my life. I'm a builder, right? I'm a kingdom builder. Kingdom building ain't just in the four walls of the church. So one of my mottos is, if I can't build with you, I can't chill with you. So the wisdom I give to y'all
Ooh, I
and to
like
the people, stop chilling with people and you can't build nothing with. If your credit ain't right, your money ain't right, your spirit ain't right, your heart ain't right, why you hanging around these people? And family ain't excluded. So when I tell people, man, write the vision, make it plain. Stop sharing your vision with blind people. They can't see it no way. If you know you're an eagle, a peacock, and a pigeon ain't got nothing in common. It
Yep.
takes time, right? Give yourself time and grace to go to your next phase. I will never forget this. I'm gonna tell y'all divine alignment. So I got approved for something early. It was a testimony. I walked into the property management office. Me and the lady was so in tune. She had chills on the top of her head, and I did. This was literally like 3 hours ago. And she was like, "Man, how you learn how to do that?" I said, "I remember not having no people, nobody around me. Spoke to my circle, but I gave myself grace and space, and then all of it started coming back in divine. And when you do that as a servitude, the God we serve, He gonna put you around the right people.
That's good. That's
But
good.
that's the word of wisdom. Find you some people you can build with, and then when you got provision, stop hanging with people who ain't got no vision. That's the plain Jane. But it's
And
real.
mine is when old doors close and new ones seem invisible, let faith guide you more than fear. Remember that God's timing is perfect. Love.
Yes, amen. That is so.
And
That is
old
great.
doorknobs don't fit on new doors.
Show don't. You're gonna have to put
Yes,
it
Lord.
in everything.
Mine says keep God first.
Keep God first.
Keep God-
Amen.
Mm.
Commit.
And Millie,
Millie.
she there. Millie,
You
have
still
anything you
there?
want to add?
Oh, she's.
Millie, where are you at, Millie?
I think she's on mute.
Are you on mute, Millie? She might
I
have
think
poor
she
connection.
Yeah, they was there. All right, but like I said, we're not finna hold y'all lovely folks up. We do thank y'all again.
Thank y'all for having us too,
Thank
man. Greatly
thank
appreciate it.
you
Good, thank
guys.
you.
And remember, everybody, you can catch us. Just Saying Podcast on YouTube. We are here on Wednesdays, 5 p.m. We are in Texas time, okay? And on Sundays, that's our normal Sunday topics. That's just something that we just decided to talk about. And that is at 4:30 p.m. Cause my homeboy work like it ain't no tomorrow. Okay.
Man,
So
you gotta, hey, I tell
4:30.
anybody, but hey, I say this all the time. Ain't nobody gonna give me nothing. I gotta go get it. And ain't nobody finna
Yes,
walk up
sir.
on my front door and say, "Hey, you need to get your life together." Either
Right.
you
No,
go,
that's right.
a
Come
man
on,
don't work,
Furman.
don't eat. I'm just saying, a man don't work, don't eat. Even
Yep.
Solomon also say, consider the ant, you slugger. People need to study that ant.
Furman, what
Ant,
church you go to? Are you a pastor?
I get asked that all the time. I don't think
Because
You're a
he knows
messenger.
it, man. I'm telling
Furman,
you, he has taught me so much. I'm
I
telling
right.
probably,
you.
Furman, I want to come have a cup of coffee with you. I need to come talk to you.
You need
hey,
to,
I
Flo.
hey,
love
you know
Let
what,
that.
me tell
Flo?
you something. He knows
You know
so
what?
much.
Well, you know what, Flo? We can make that happen. Cause
Okay.
hey, we can make that happen. They'll make that happen. I'm like Nike. Let's just do it, right?
Okay.
So we can make
Yes.
that happen. So
Okay.
looking forward to it.
Look, let me tell you
But
something. That's gonna be the best cup of coffee because you're gonna get so much knowledge. Let me tell
Furman,
you something.
listen, I can definitely sit. I need to sit down with some wisdom right now. I love to be poured into. I'm always pouring into others as well. But I mean, you have just showed up with this new level of wisdom and insight. I love it. Thank you.
Telling you.
oh, I
I'm
love it
telling
too. Like I
you.
said, we're going to play Top Golf. If you want to go to Top Golf, well, you more than welcome to come. We're going to meet up at 8.
Yes.
Y'all going
Yes.
tonight?
Yeah, we're going
Yes.
tonight.
Come on, sis.
I can't go tonight because it's
No,
late
why
invite, but the next
not?
time golf date, let me know. I would love to be there.
Okay. You know what? We're gonna
Yeah.
get your info, and we're yes. We're gonna get your info,
All right.
your personal info. He probably already got it, but we're gonna get your personal info, and we're gonna make that happen. And
Okay.
remember,
Most
when a
definitely.
door is closed, a window is always open. Okay,
Yeah.
window is
That's
always
it.
Mhm.
open, y'all.
But
All right,
I gotta
y'all.
say so.
Thank
Hold
y'all.
on, before I go, Mr. C, he's always working. Cause when we was at that event, it was an AI workshop, and he was still working during the workshop. I gotta admire you, Mr. C, because
Hey,
you being consistent. Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate you, my brother.
Oh, you're welcome. Last, I'm not gonna hold y'all brief for people. We gotta get ready to go. I know y'all got stuff y'all gotta do. Once again, we thank y'all, man. Y'all be
Thank
blessed. Let's
you.
finish y'all strong.
Impact.
And all of the great stuff. So we better be out this thing. So peace, everybody.
Peace.
Peace
Peace.
and increase.
Bye.
Bye. Let's see.